the President of the United States, accompanied by Erica Kirk.
Thank you very much, everybody. Please, this is such an honor. This is the, please be seated. This is the first time we've been at the new and improved Rose Garden, and people are loving it. They're loving it like they've not loved a lot of things. We have the Presidential Walk of Fame, which you just saw, and it just opened, and we wanted to get it open for this occasion. We were hoping we were able to get outside, and the weather allowed us to. It was supposed to be a terrible rainy day. I was telling Eric, and God was watching, and he didn't want that for Charlie. He just didn't want that. So it's really beautiful. It couldn't be more beautiful. Today we're here to honor and remember a fearless warrior for liberty, beloved leader who galvanized the next generation like nobody I've ever seen before, and an American patriot of the deepest conviction, the finest quality and the highest caliber, the late, great Charlie Kirk. Five weeks ago, our nation was robbed of this extraordinary champion. He was a champion in every way. I got to know him so well. He didn't like losing, and he was able to fight people that were enemies, and he didn't necessarily love those enemies so much. You know, I heard he loved his enemies, and I said, wait a minute, is that the same Charlie that I know? I'm not sure, but I didn't want to get into it.
Homie, your do-rag is adorable. What are you talking about?
But it was a horrible, heinous, demonic act of murder. He was assassinated in the prime of his life for boldly speaking the truth, for living his faith and relentlessly fighting for a better and stronger
What's good, Nicole? What's good?
And that's why this afternoon it's my privilege to posthumously award Charles James Kirk our nation's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Thank you. As you know, only hours ago, I returned from a very historic trip to secure peace in the Middle East. People said that couldn't be done. Charlie felt it could be done. Charlie felt it could be done. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. But I raced back halfway around the globe. I was going to call Erica and say, Erica, could you maybe move it to Friday? And I didn't have the courage to call. But you know why I didn't call? Because I heard today was Charlie's birthday. And I said, you know, that was a definite. And I said, we're going to have to forget about some of those very big, very rich countries that expected me to be there. And I can tell you, based on the length of that flight, I wouldn't want to go back tomorrow. But I would not have missed this moment for anything in the world. Nothing. And it's a very important time for our country, and our country is doing so well. It's never done better. We are.
Why are we watching this trash?
Almost now $18 trillion.
Y'all don't mess with Trump.
Investment coming in. Nobody's ever seen anything like that. Previous administration had less than $1 trillion for 4 years. We have more than 18. It'll be much more than 20 by the time the year. More than $20 trillion. There's never been a country in the world that had anything like that. What's happened to our country is incredible in a short period of time. Charlie was a big person for. Sir, can we close up those borders, please, a little bit? You know, they're really leaking badly. I said, Charlie, I haven't gotten there yet. But, you know, it came out last 4 months. Literally nobody was allowed into our country. And the only people that were allowed in were people that came in legally. The borders are absolutely stone cold closed. And,
Nicole, you talking about Trump, right?
0, 0, and 0. So that's pretty good. but he was a big believer. He wanted people in the country more than I did, frankly. He wanted them to come in legally, and he got his wish. October 14th is Charlie's birthday, and he should have been turning 32 years old. I tell you, when I first met him, he was like 22, and I said, boy, he's awfully young, but I thought he was older than that, you know. He looked a little bit older than his age. That's okay, you know. That's not good when you're old, but when you're young, it's great. He had the best of all things, but he was special. But instead, Charlie is attaining a far more important milestone. We're entering his name forever into the eternal roster of true American heroes.
Charlie Kirk, Medal of Freedom ceremony.
Way, way beyond his years. And I'm honored to be joined by a woman who has endured unspeakable hardship with unbelievable strength, and that's Charlie's widow, Erica. And I just want to thank you, Erica. He loved you so much. I was with him. Oh, please. Thank you, darling. Thank you. I was with him before I met Erica, and he told me he was going to get married. He said, "You won't believe how beautiful she is." I said, well, then now that I meet her, he's right. But then he also said,
is he flirting?
And you know what? She's like the smartest person.
Someone like Trump in Australia?
See, they do go together on occasion. Not often. I don't think they need him. Not often. But on occasion they go together.
For President Bruce, every stream.
He was in love with you. He was deeply in love with you. It's great. Erica, your love and courage have been an inspiration to all of us, and we will always be here for you, and we're always going to be here for your gorgeous, beautiful children, and we'll never forget what your family has sacrificed for our country. Man loved our country. When things were going badly for our country, he was so, as you know, angry. He would get angry because he said it doesn't have to be that way. We're also pleased to be joined by an incredible group of Charlie's friends, very powerful friends, actually, and some not so powerful, and they're actually better people, okay? I know them all. They're the less powerful ones. I have to tell you that, all of you power guys down here.
Erica don't give a F about her husband.
That are less successful,
Trump,
but that
best
happens
president
too.
ever. I love
they're
Trump.
all great, and they're here. And let's start with Erica's father. Where is Erica?
Do y'all really be loving Trump, or do y'all just be trying to troll people?
Where are you, Dad? Oh, look at him. Wow. I want to get a hat like that, too. I like that. How are you? Nice to see you again. Thanks as well to Vice President J.D. Vance, who's been fantastic. J.D., thank you very much. Great. Doing a great job.
Nah, I like him.
On Sunday,
greatest president of all time.
George Slobodanopoulos.
I mean, what other president speaks so genuinely?
Put him away pretty good.
Trump is the
Second
world
lady,
boss.
who's a phenomenal woman.
Didn't you say that last year?
Usha Vance, thank you very much. Usha.
No, I love Trump.
Thank you very much. Great woman.
President
of Argentina. He wanted to be here.
Argentina's
a serious flight,
finna go
right?
slap with some ops or something?
And he's become a superstar, and he's doing amazing things.
His dad is...
He's a MAGA person, but it's make Argentina great again. That's what he does, right? And I want you to stand, please, Javier Milei. Doing a great job.
Going business.
Thank you very much. Many members of my cabinet are here.
Trump is the worst president in jeans.
I won't go into every single one of them, but I'll announce a few of the
you wouldn't even know
that
that
have really
President
turned this
average
country around
Trump
and helped
supporter.
me. Incredible people. Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. Where is Mike? Mike, what a job you're doing, Mike.
I like and subscribe. Appreciate you, Nicole. Everybody, make sure y'all liking and subscribing.
Trying to say, look,
it helps
let
a lot.
the country open. Everything will be fine.
F Trump, F
We're
Trump,
dealing
F
with
Trump.
some radical left lunatics.
Leandro, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not surprised that you F Trump.
I think the fight would have been over
name.
already. He would have had a march on the Capitol by people whose average age is about 21, because there's nobody that had that relationship with young people.
You
right,
hate
Mike?
trans.
So thank you, Mike,
weird.
for being here. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise.
Igor.
Steve, thank you very much.
I ain't gonna lie. That's crazy.
A brave guy and a friend. House Majority Whip, another terrific man, Tom Emmer. Thank you, Tom.
LA is in a state
Senate
of
Majority
emergency.
Whip,
The shit
John
ICE is doing.
Barrasso.
Be safe, everyone.
John, thank you very much. You have all these senators. I'm going to get in trouble. I'm not going to read all their names. I'll be reading all day. We'll be talking about Charlie in about 45 minutes from now. We can't do that. So all of the senators, there's so many of you. Thank you very much. I do want to thank Senator Thune
I
for
appreciate
doing
everybody who's
a
subscribing
terrific
also.
job. He's really been leading
some reason, my
properly. Do you agree, Mike? The
notifications
team,
not
the two
working.
of these guys have been fantastic. So
Easy.
to Senator Thune, I want to thank you very much. Incredible job. I watched him this morning, and he was out there
Yeah, they
pounding
should,
him
but-
this morning on television too. And John Barrasso, thank you for the work you've done. And congratulations on your success. But I want to thank you all and all of the Congress people that are here. And I see we have our Attorney General here, and you are doing a
The way
fantastic
he
job.
speaks
Thank
is
you
like
very much,
listening to
Pam.
my
Thank you.
grandfather talk. So good.
Thank you very much. We have everybody. Wow, that's incredible. Okay, I'm not going to do any more. I'm going to be here too long. But I just want to thank you. Have given him such support, but he always gave you such support. That's why you're here. And very unusual.
I'm sorry you've been
James Kirk
swindled by
was
the
a
Democratic
visionary
Party.
and one of the greatest figures of his generation. He was truly an amazing figure. And growing leaps and bounds, he
I
knew
saw
that
it.
the fight
Appreciate you, my
to
dog.
preserve our heritage is waged not only on the battlefield and in the halls of power, of which we
This
have
sucks so much. I
tremendous
am
power
going to
here,
be
including
die today.
the head of a place called
Nicole, you got to be a
war.
kid
We
with
call
that
it now
grammar.
war. We had defense. We had our Secretary of Defense. Now we have a Secretary of War. And somehow I think it's more emblematic, and hopefully we'll never have to use war. But the fact that we're ready is very good. Peace through strength is very important. But also
Still
in the
waiting
hearts
for all
of
this
our
winning to start.
nation's
Got a
youth.
few
That's
years to
where
go, I
Charlie
guess.
rode strongest. At age 18, that insight inspired Charlie to found the organization that ultimately touched the lives of millions and millions of people, and so many young people that nobody's ever seen anything like it, frankly. Turning Point USA. It's amazing.
Countries
And
be
it's
having
actually
borders
bigger
for
now.
no reason.
It's become bigger in the last few weeks than Charlie ever thought.
Truth or dare.
I think his end vision in many years from now would have been just a fraction of what it turned out to be in a couple of weeks, right? It's amazing.
F Trump.
With hard
not
work
the
and
Trump.
joyful spirit and endless enthusiasm and
Please
determination.
give me a shout out. Shout
And
out
he
to
did
you,
have
my
great
dog.
enthusiasm. You know, I always say you need enthusiasm to be successful. He had great enthusiasm. Charlie grew Turning Point into the largest conservative youth organization in the entire country. He forged a personal bond with countless young conservatives. He fought for free speech, religious liberty, strong borders, and a very strong and proud America. In everything he did, he put America first.
Appreciate
he
you,
really put
Howard.
America first. And ultimately,
Howard
Charlie became more than a leader of an important organization. He became the leader of historic movements all over the country. There were movements, individual movements, one movement, but it was historic. Everything he did was historic, and a true
F.
evangelist
Trump, you're all
for the
dumb. Go
cause
away.
of freedom and the word of Almighty God. God was very important to Charlie. He would say, you know, if you don't have religion, you're not going to have a strong country. It's true. He was so wise beyond his years. You know, I talk to him
Ironic,
sometimes,
Trump,
I say,
ironic.
This guy is like a young guy. He was really a wise man. From the time Charlie worked on my presidential campaign in 2016, and he was there right from the beginning. He liked me. I don't know. I
Christina,
have no
appreciate
idea why.
you.
What the hell was he
W.
thinking?
Christina.
He said, "You're going to win, sir." I said, "You know, I'm running against 17 senators and a lot of tough people and governors. We have all these people." And he said, "No, you're going to win, sir." He said, "Not going to be close." And he made it happen. He helped make it happen. I'll tell you that. Without him, who knows what would be. Maybe you'd have Kamala standing here today. That would not be good. I will tell you, Javier, you don't know who
Kamala just
Kamala
called it
is.
straight.
Promise, it would not be good. You agree with that, Howard? He also mobilized countless citizens to go vote. It's called Go Vote. Very simple. And with his help in 2024, we won more young people than any Republican by far in the history of our country. And we won the popular vote. We won the swing states, all 7 of them. Remember, they said, oh, well, if Trump could win 4, that would be nice. I win 7 by a lot, by a landslide. But the popular vote was massive. And we won the Electoral College. Remember, they said, well, it's going to be very hard. I'd say 270. Well, we got 312 to 226. And then we won something called districts and councils and different things. But in one case, we won 2,750 to 525. That's the one where you see the map is almost entirely red, except they have a little blue line on one side and a little blue line.
Charlie Kirk is a king among men. Chad, do y'all agree with that?
If the vote were 100%, we would have won that too. You want to know the truth. But he knew, and he knew very well, and he also understood honesty, and he was always concerned with honesty. He said the only way we can lose is if the cheating gets so bad, and that's where we came up with a little phrase, too big to rig.
No.
We said, go out and vote.
A bunch of hot garbage coming out.
And we had that. Remember, we used to say that all the time because people would say, oh,
funny, bro.
They're going to win. We don't have to vote. Let's go to a movie. We'll come home and watch later. And he wasn't about that. So we come up with really together, we came up with that phrase, we got to make it too big. I never made a speech where I didn't say at the end, now look, the polls are showing good. Don't believe the polls.
LOL, Charlie Kirk was one of the most anti-Constitution propaganda headpieces out there.
So if you think we're going to win by a lot, doesn't matter. Pretend we're losing.
Watch his videos. Don't just repeat talking points.
And at 9:02, the whole thing was over, right? 9:02. Remember they said, oh, this could go a few days. Well, it went a few minutes. 9:02. And he knew that. And I felt it, but he knew it. He knew it. I think he knew it more than anybody. But Charlie never missed an opportunity to remind us of the Judeo-Christian principles of our nation's founding or to share his deep Christian faith. In his final moments, Charlie testified to the greatness of America and to the glory of our Savior, with whom he now rests in heaven. And he is going to make heaven. I said, I'm not sure I can make it, but he's going to make it.
Oh, Trump, you know you're not making it, buddy.
Looking down on us right
You're on
now,
the Epstein list.
Look at this, how this turned out. This was supposed to be so dark
Keep
and cloudy.
men out women's sports.
Not dark and cloudy.
Where did that come from?
Look at that, how beautiful that is. There's no artist that can.
He was an ideal, moderate, right-wing pundit, but no king.
It's amazing. As I said, on the day that he was assassinated, Charlie Kirk was a martyr for truth and for freedom. And from Socrates to think, and to St. Peter, from Abraham Lincoln to Martin Luther King, those who change history
no, he
the
ain't,
most,
bro.
And he really did.
Okay.
Have always risked their
Our
lives
country was
for
founded on
causes
freedom
they
of
were
religion.
Put on earth to defend. He was
Quick scroll
put
on
on earth
by.
to do exactly what he was doing. He didn't want to waste time. He would have been a top student at any college in the country. I know the college.
We shouldn't be paying for people transgender surgery.
He was so smart. But he almost, I guess, didn't have the time.
Where
he knew what he wanted to do.
Where is this transgender stuff coming from, though?
I was in the classroom for 4 years listening to people teach me liberal principles, because they were never going to teach him that anyway.
He's not. Do your
but he didn't have the time.
research.
He really didn't have the time.
All right,
but every
buddy,
time
what you want?
enemies
I'm not
of
researching that
goodness
shit.
and
I know
virtue
you
tried
on
to
the list.
silence the voice of righteous and noble
Trump
leaders
makes
like
me
Charlie.
hard.
They fail. They seem
Roberto,
to fail
you gotta be
ultimately.
stopped.
They look like they're doing well, and then they end up failing, because the truth has been unrelenting over the years, over history, and people like Charlie.
Trump was the one to let Epstein down. To take Epstein down. If he was on the list, Joe B would have let it out.
So today, like those martyrs before him, Charlie's voice, his message,
you know how many names on that list?
Stronger and greater.
You think they gonna ever let that come out? Come on, bro. Y'all gotta be smarter than that.
Look, this is a horrible event, but it brought out the greatness of Charlie. Nothing could have ever supplanted this. It's incredible the way people are talking about it.
Pro-Trump, pro-Kirk, anti-woke.
And with great love. I mean, I read so many stories about some of the enemies, but I watch the enemies, and it's hard for them to speak.
Jason Hale is on Grindr.
They just don't. And then you do have people in the days since Charlie's killing. We've seen exactly why our country so dearly needed his example. We've watched legions of far-left radicals resort to desperate acts of violence and terror because they know that their ideas and arguments are persuading no one. They know that they're failing. They have the devil's ideology, and they're failing, and they know it, they feel it, and they become violent. They seem to become very violent on the left. They've rammed vehicles into federal law enforcement, fired sniper rifles at ICE agents, and me, But I made a turn at a good time. I turned to the right. Charlie couldn't believe it, actually. He said, "How the hell did you make that turn?" I said, "I don't know." But fired rifles and threatened the lives of our Supreme Court justices, our great justices. They have to be protected. We just issued a lot of money, $60 million, to protect the Supreme Court justices. Very important. We can't let anything happen. In places of worship, we're protecting our people. We've seen that a candidate for Attorney General in Virginia boasted that he would.
You can tell these Charlie Kirk fans never listen to him speak. They're going to do what they're going to do regardless.
Legislator in Virginia
no shout out, huh? Guess it's because I call him my president.
His children murdered. He actually said this.
Good work with the Israel
and now
peace
he
deal,
continues
Mr.
to
President.
run for office, and most people continue to back him. But he said he wants his man shot. He said shot in the head, and to see his children murdered. And they keep running.
What's
Pretty
good,
amazing,
baby?
Right? That's a bad one. Let's see how that turns out, but that's a really bad one. Nobody's heard that one before. Especially in the wake of Charlie's assassination, our country must have absolutely no tolerance for this radical left violence, extremism, and terror. We're done with the angry mobs, and we're not going to let our cities be unsafe. We're going to make sure our cities are safe. When you have Chicago, where they had 4,000 people murdered over a very short period of time, 4,000 people, and then we have a governor stand up and say, "Oh, things are going swimmingly." No, they're not. We're going to make Chicago safe, just like we're going to make. Look what we did in D.C. It's so nice that we started here, because this was one of the most violent places in the United States. It'd be dangerous to be right out here. But you couldn't go to a restaurant. The restaurants were all dying. The whole place was dying. You'd have these gorgeous, look at the Washington Monument over there. You'd have these gorgeous buildings and monuments and structures.
You can tell that Charlie Kirk haters never listen to him in full context. Sharp-minded hatred.
They'd get into an Uber, and they'd feel safe, and then the Uber would be attacked. They thought they made it to safety, and then the Uber was attacked on the trip in. But
I don't agree that he deserved to be murdered, but I think he was a bad influence and a bad person.
Had problems. Took us 12 days to make it great. We took out, Pam, 1,700 hard criminals, career criminals in many cases, but these are hardened criminals. Many of them came in through the Biden open borders. We brought them back to the countries. And a couple were so violent that we put them in jail. We don't want to take a chance that they could get back in, because no matter how good we do, somebody can sneak in. They were so violent and so bad. One arrested 28 times. Every time he left prison, he'd get into a violent incident. 28 times. And we put him away for a long time. But we're done with the angry mobs. We're done with it. This is such an unbelievable place right now. You take a look where you can walk down the middle of the street with your wife or your husband. Your children can walk. They can walk alone. It doesn't matter. They can walk anywhere in Washington, and they're safe now. If this were a year ago, they'd have a serious chance of being badly hurt, even killed. They'd come in from Indiana, they'd come in from Iowa, they'd come from Florida to see their nation's capital, and somebody would have to call the parents, "I'm sorry, but your son or your daughter's been killed." Not anymore. You hear those sirens going off? That's good. That's a good sound. That means they either got the bad guy or they're going to stop the bad guy. You didn't hear that sound because nobody wanted to do anything. Nobody. Listen to the beauty of that sound. Seriously. And that's the real deal sirens. They're not politically correct sirens. You hear them, they're about 3 miles away.
Shit, if you hear them sirens, it's not a good thing.
They're stopping crime. That's what they're doing. So we're done with the voices of fools.
More like starting it.
And death threats, and we're going to make our cities safe. And I thought it was Charlie's, one of his biggest dreams was that he couldn't believe it. Chicago's going to be a great city again.
Cap.
We've already, we sent people in there 6 months ago, and this governor said, "Well, crime is down." Yeah, that's because we had the FBI in there for 6 months, just preparing it for the bigger surge. And they've done a great job, the cash and the FBI. They've done a great job, and they love doing it. You know, they love being able to do it. They were restricted from doing it.
He's doing everything to make money from USA propaganda at its finest.
Totally unrestricted. All they have to
ambulance
do
is helping, like he said.
And they're doing it.
How you know that's an ambulance siren, though?
You heard they went in about a week ago. One of the most dangerous places in the country. It's really in the world. It's not just the country. They have very few cities that would compare to some of these cities. You go to Afghanistan, you say, oh, that's unsafe. Well, the crime numbers are much better.
Ja Rule, I love your music, man.
Places that we have. So Memphis, I understand, is doing unbelievably in 1 week. It's like a different place. And this took 12 days, and then after that, we just perfected it. But after 12 days, we had good safety here. After 1 month, it's like, it's really amazing.
And
by the way,
Trump
restaurants
said
are booming. Restaurants
stop
are
crime or
opening up.
something.
The big problem you have, you can't get into a restaurant in D.C. anymore. So they're opening up. It's a beautiful thing to see. It's called safety.
Charlie thought the only use for women were to be mothers to their husbands, while also effing them and produce children and be submissive.
I directed the Attorney General and the Department of Homeland Security to confront the very real threat of left-wing terrorism in our country. It's a real threat. Not when you confront it, it's not. Because
LOL, he just said that siren was going to stop crime.
In fact,
yeah, that's what I thought.
They're cowards. When you confront them, they immediately fold. You have to see them fold. You have to see them crying. They fold. But it includes dismantling the networks that fund them and finance them, and we're finding out who those networks are. We already know quite a few of them. When you see these violent incidents and then you see people holding this gorgeous sign,
I'm tired of seeing Kaisenet and Pakistani candle laughter on my YouTube charts.
Everything's perfect,
what does that even mean?
Job. And they're all the same. There are thousands of them. You know that they weren't made in the basement out of love. They were made by anarchists. And in some cases, wealthy. I'll probably find some of my nice friends.
If you're not happy with President Trump, get the F out of America.
Being so nice
Trump
to me,
is a coward. Why did he dodge the draft?
Nice. But it surprises you who they may be, and you almost wonder why.
Who's this old guy?
Why would they do it?
You got hit with an algorithm booster,
we're really
LOL.
Taking it back one by one. If we didn't go into Los Angeles early on in the administration, the commissioner, the chief of police, Los Angeles said, if they didn't go in, we would have lost our city. Now, they already lost 25,000 houses to fire because they wouldn't let the water come in from the Pacific Northwest, which they should have done. I said, you better do it. They didn't do it, and we had 25,000 homes where they had no water in their sprinklers. They had no water in the fire hydrants. It would have been a different kind of a thing if they did what they were supposed to do. We had to break in. We broke in and had the water come down. They said for the environment, great, they lost 25,000 houses. It's incredible. But the commissioner said without the federal government and President Trump's intervention, we would have lost the entire city. And we have the Olympics going there soon. I got the Olympics. We have the Olympics. We have the World Cup. And we have, most importantly, we have the 250th anniversary of our country. That's going to be most important. And all of these things are happening. And we're going to have safe cities. We're going to have very, very safe cities. So 1 month after Charlie's death, we still feel the terrible shock and the pain of his loss, like just about nobody I can think of. Charlie Kirk was one of a kind. He was unstoppable. And he really was. Boy, when he had an idea in his head, he would call me, sir, please, you haven't done it yet. I said, Charlie, relax. Just relax. He didn't relax. He'd call me the next day again. It got it done. But he was like indomitable and always will be. He's really irreplaceable. Nobody going to replace him. But they're going to do great. But you can't replace that kind of person and that kind of talent, frankly. The word talent is an important word, but that kind of talent. So we hold his memory in our hearts forever. Every single day of this administration, we will continue to carry out the mission for which he lived, and he really did. He lived for this country. He lived for his wife and his family, but he lived for this country too. In Charlie's honor, we will continue like we have been to fight, 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 and to win, win, win. We're going to win so much. So the presidential Medal of Freedom is a big deal. You have the Congressional Medal of Honor, military, and the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is civilian. And the Presidential Medal of Freedom is a really big deal. Very few people get it. Very few people, frankly, qualify. It's a decision of the president, but it's a qualification that's a very hard one to get. And I would like to ask, if I might, the military aide to read Charles James Kirk's citation for the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Chat, y'all think Charlie Kirk deserved his medal? Be honest. Be honest, chat.
The Presidential Medal of Freedom is awarded to Charles James Kirk. Accepting on behalf of Charlie is his wife, Mrs. Erica Kirk. Charlie Kirk was one of the most influential American political figures of his generation. At just 18 years old, he founded Turning Point USA and grew it into the largest conservative youth organization in the nation. For over a decade, he tirelessly traveled the country leading a movement to restore respect for our founding principles, reawaken our national identity, and inspire a renewed spirit of religious devotion. He was one of the great debaters and communicators of his time. Despite receiving repeated threats, he remained undeterred and modeled courage, logic, humor, and grace to the next generation. On September 10th, 2025, at age 31, Charlie Kirk was assassinated while addressing a group of students. The United States honors him as a martyr for truth and freedom.
All right, is he gonna give it to him, Chad, or they just gonna stare into the distance?
Thank you, Mr. President, for honoring my husband in such a profound and meaningful way. And thank you for making this event a priority amid the peace process in the Middle East. Thank you. Very grateful. Charlie always admired your commitment to freedom, and that's something that both of you shared. So thank you. Your support of our family and the work that Charlie devoted his life to will be something I cherish forever, so thank you. To our gracious First Lady in her office for making this event possible, thank you as well. It's beautiful. To Vice President and the lovely Usha Vance, your friendship has been an unbelievable encouragement. Thank you. And to all our friends and family that are here and watching from all around the world, thank you for loving us. Thank you for praying for us and for believing in what Charlie believed in. And to our Turning Point USA staff,
reading from a script
and the Charlie Kirk Show staff, we love you more than you could ever know. And to the Turning Point USA chapters that are
the
watching
Trump family. It's about her husband.
all across America right now, you are the heartbeat of this future and of this movement. Everything that Charlie built, you guys are the legacy holders of that. You are living proof that his mission did not die with him. It lives through you. And Charlie always said the next generation will decide whether freedom endures. And because of you, I know that freedom will endure. It will. And today we're gathered not only to celebrate Charlie's birthday, but to honor a truth that he gave his entire life to defend, and that's freedom. The very existence of the Presidential Medal of Freedom reminds us that the national interest of the United States has always been freedom. Our founders etched it into the preamble of our Constitution, and those words are not relics on parchment. They are a living covenant. The blessings of liberty are not man's invention, they are God's endowment. Charlie lived for those blessings, not as abstract words, but as sacred promises. He used to love to journal about this topic all the time, and with such a heart postured.
While she is speaking, Trump is in the background thinking
and
about
sleep on her.
He
liberty was both a right and a responsibility.
Y'all gotta chill. She hasn't said one good thing about her husband yet.
Freedom is the ability to do what is right.
I know, she said a lot about Trump.
Without fear. And that's how he lived. He was free from fear. He was free from compromise, free from anything that could enslave his soul. His name, Charles, literally means free man. And that's exactly who my husband was. He was a free man. And from the time I met him,
Chat, how long y'all think it's going to be before she move on and get a new husband or boyfriend?
On politics and philosophy and theology, anything that Charlie loved, any topic he loved. And I just saw the fire in his soul, and there was this divine restlessness within him that came from knowing God placed him on this earth to protect something very, very sacred for all of us. And he never stopped fighting for people to experience freedom. He didn't.
You are cold as F.
Charlie often
She's
said
talking
that
about her
God,
husband, you dumbo,
freedom
not
becomes
Trump.
Chaos. And he believed liberty could only survive when anchored to truth.
You must have missed the first part of her speech.
And I remember in one of his speeches, he told the audience that the opposite of liberty isn't law.
The minute Charlie Kirk leaned to the left, she moved on.
And that the freest people in the world are those whose hearts belong to Christ. But what's so powerful is that Charlie had the ability to communicate so brilliantly across all generations.
I saw her do that double hand sign.
And he reminded us that in a world that tells us freedom is
she gonna do a double sign at the end?
Doing whatever you want to do, the real freedom is the power to live freely and to do what is right. And in one of his journal entries, he wrote that he wanted everyone to know that you can't have liberty without moral responsibility. Freedom divorced from faith eventually just destroys itself. And what's so fascinating about all of this is looking back these past 12 years of Turning Point USA and his mission, there's almost this veil of sacredness.
10 more minutes? Damn,
because what I realized is that while he was building an organization, he was also building a movement, one that called people back to God, back to truth, and a movement that was filled with courage. And ironically, for a man who impacted millions, Charlie never desired to be the center of attention. He just wasn't. My husband was not a man of extravagance. He loved simple but deeply meaningful things. Truly. He loved his late night walks. He loved buying more books than he could ever read because he felt there was no such thing as a book budget. And he loved being able to read to our kids the same bedtime story on repeat because he knew it was their favorite. But to him, that was special. And he loved to sit in the sun on a Saturday morning with his cup of decaf coffee, and his phone was off because he was honoring the Sabbath. And for him, it was that moment to catch his breath and just be in peace, because he was unreachable at the moment. And he preferred quiet birthdays. But that never stopped me from telling him. I told him every single year, I said, baby, I love your birthday. I said, because it's the day that God knew the world couldn't go another day without you. And so the rhythm of our usual birthday celebration for him was mint ice cream, mint chocolate chip ice cream. He only had it twice a year, on his birthday and 4th of July. It's just, and then after that, it was back to work as usual. But last year, his one birthday wish was to see the Oregon Ducks play the Ohio State. And they won. Oregon won that night. And it was by far one of the most memorable nights of his birthday experience of his life until today. And so,
blacks were happy as slaves.
I spent 7.5 years trying to find the perfect birthday gift for Charlie. And it's so difficult. And those of you that have spouses or loved ones, you know how difficult it is sometimes to buy a gift for someone that you love, because he wasn't a materialistic man, so that also did not help. But now I can say with confidence, Mr. President, that you have given him the best birthday gift he could ever have.
Thank you.
It's such an honor and the recognition of a life lived for defending freedom. And that's what Charlie fought for until his last breath. And it was written across his chest in those final moments on one of his simple t-shirts that always carried a message. And this one bearing a single word, freedom. That was the banner over his life, and that shirt was a declaration. The same declaration he made in every speech, every campus visit, every time he shared the gospel at a church, every sleepless night that he would spend praying for the youth of this nation and planning for the future of our country, and just impressing upon them that when we defend liberty, we defend the soul of our nation. My husband never told anyone what to say. He never did. He never told anyone what to say. He would just encourage them to think. He would encourage them to think outside of the tradition.
Children were killed in violent.
Data shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad. It was evil. But what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes.
Maybe they were afraid. I mean, 4,000 black men, women, and children were killed in violent lynch mobs.
That's your explanation, but I guess
racial terror permeated American culture for hundreds of years.
Black America is worse than it has been
that
in the last
affected
80 years.
The generational psyche of an entire group of people?
Well, I'm sure it did. I'm not discounting that. I'm just it shows they were.
Bro said there were less crimes committed. I mean, obviously, if niggas fucking strapped in chains and shit, they can really do shit. Like, that's what y'all talking about, chat? Show the entire clip? Bro, I've seen enough, buddy. I don't need to see the entire clip.
Political labels.
No, I'm not finishing it, chat. I've seen enough.
Anchored in wisdom and truth.
Bro said there was less crimes because they were slaves. Obviously. What the hell?
Charlie wasn't content to simply admire freedom. He wanted to multiply it. He wanted
LOL, thanks for proving you don't care about the truth. I don't care, buddy. That's the thing.
To understand it.
I don't care about what y'all trying to prove,
He wanted them to see that liberty isn't self-indulgence.
That was why after slavery and segregation.
Under God.
I guess, gang.
He wanted them to see that.
1940 was after segregation and slavery.
He'd put on his cross necklace. He'd put his ring on his finger. And the boldness in his demeanor was always fearlessness. He wasn't afraid. He was never afraid. And his daily actions, whether in office or on campus or at a church, it was always without fear. That was his creed. That is how he lived out every single day. He didn't fear being slandered. He did not. He didn't fear losing friends, I can tell you that. He didn't. He didn't care. He stood for truth and stood for freedom, and he did not, everything else was just noise to him. And it's because his confidence in Christ was absolute. That's why. There was no limit to what he would have sacrificed to defend freedom for all. And if the moment had come, he probably would have run for president, but not out of ambition. He would only have done it if that was something that he believed that his country needed from a servant's heart standpoint. And Charlie lived only 31 short years. No, he's 32, but on this side of heaven, but
2 out of 10 rage bait.
he lived.
Wait,
He lived.
Kirk, how old are you?
Second he lived.
How you know about rage bait?
He filled every single day with purpose, and he fought for truth when it was unpopular. And he stood for God when it was costly, but that's what we're called to do. Surprisingly enough, he did pray for his enemies, which is very hard, but he did. He did. He did. No one else. I mean, I saw him do it. No, he never did it in front of anyone else, but I can attest to
Usually a lot of
that.
people in my chat be old
But
or older.
he also loved people when it was inconvenient. And he ran his race with endurance, and he kept the faith. And now he wears the crown of a righteous martyr. And for me and for our children, the truth really steadies our grief, because heaven gained what earth could no longer contain: a free man made fully free.
She's still
To all
talking.
watching, this is not a ceremony.
This bee is crying out of
This
one
is a
eye.
commissioning.
She is a joke.
And my message is simple. I want you to be the embodiment of this medal. I do. I want you to free yourself from fear. I want you to stand
Chad, how y'all feel
courageously
about
in
this
the
speech?
truth.
Like, is this a good speech?
Listen for the still, small voice of God. And remember that while freedom is inherited in this country, each of us must be intentional stewards every single day. God began a mighty work through my husband, and I intend to see it through. And the torch is in our hands now. It's in mine, it's in yours, it's in all of yours. It's in all the students with Turning Point USA. And before I close, I'll share with you that I asked our daughter
That's cap. That's cap.
what she would like to say to Daddy for his birthday. Excuse me. She said, "Happy birthday, Daddy.
She fake and
I wanna give you a
phony.
stuffed
No, she
animal."
was not genuine. What am I watching? I'm a girl. Moron. The amount of hate Erica gets is insane. Liberal
want you to
recruitment,
eat
they
a
have the
cupcake with
emotional
ice cream.
intelligence of a 5-year-old.
And I want you
Worse
to go
acting
have
than
a
Amber
birthday
Heard.
surprise.
Nah, that's bad. I ain't gonna lie. It's so performative. Time to
And while
exploit
our
daughter.
son-
Goddamn,
He
Chad,
can't-
y'all
he
going
can't
in on her.
speak. In classic Kirk family fashion, his actions spoke louder than his words, and his gift to you, Charlie, and myself for that matter, was deciding to become the man of the house and be fully potty trained at 16
Hey, John,
months.
go. What type of car is that on your profile picture?
But Charlie, baby,
That's a
I know that
hatchback?
you're celebrating in heaven today, but gosh, I miss you.
I know you got a big ass turbo in that bit.
we
She's
love you,
the
and
thing
we
for a
promise
soap
we'll
opera.
Make you
Chill,
proud,
Chad,
and
chill. Y'all
Charlie's
crazy.
life was proof that freedom is
Because
not
your
a
chat is
theory, it's
filled
a
with
testimony.
literal incel lips.
He showed us that liberty begins not in the halls of power, but
Just
in the
because they
man
don't
of
like
a
the
heart
speech that automatically
surrendered
made
to
them a
God.
liberal.
And so today, as we honor Charlie with this incredible Presidential Medal of Freedom on his birthday, I stand here with tears and just a humbled heart and spirit, because his
Oh, yeah,
story
big
reminds
time.
us all that
Okay.
to live free is the greatest gift.
What if I decided to IP track y'all and
But to
come
die
have a
free is
chat
the
because
greatest
you agree with me? Sandman, 2 out of
Happy
10
birthday,
rage
my
bait.
Charlie.
I gotta
Happy
agree
Freedom
with
Day.
Kurt on that one. I wonder what Trump whispered in her ear. Come to my room later. I got a gift for you too. Charlie stood for what was right, and you know, you all talk your shit, but what about his kids? They lost their father. That's so sad. Like, you all just haters and jealous because he was actually successful in life. To inherit 300 million is the greatest gift. Chad, chill, Chad, chill. Chill, Chad. Everybody grieve different. She might be going through a tough time. Chill, Chad. Oh my God. Trump whispers, meet me in the Oval Office. Wink, wink. Nah, chill, Chad, chill. Chill. President Trump participates in bilateral lunch with the president of the Argentine Republic. Chad, what should we look at next? Man, Chad, y'all as hell, bro. Y'all got me crying laughing. Man, Chad, y'all funny. She's hiding. She's a widow. Trump. Chad, y'all think Trump gonna try to get with that? He wouldn't stoop that low, right? Peace in the Middle East. President Trump participates in a Middle East ceremony. President Trump is the president of the Argentine Republic. I am Charlie Kirk. I got schmirked. Trump is a killer and a thief. That's it. She has demonic eyes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, accompanied by Erica Kirk.
We missed you.
You will date her in 10 years.
Thank you very much. It's a great
How old is
honor
she?
to have the leader of Argentina, a place
Let's
that
see.
I love, I've been to, and one of the most beautiful places in the world, president, and I really want to thank you very much.
Chat, how y'all feeling about this? Smash or pass? How old is this bitch? She's like 40. 36. Okay. Happy birthday. Y'all all still loving that pedal press. God was Charlie Cutter best, since you know. Happy birthday. Hey yo, show us a pic of your mom so we can do the smash and pass challenge. A Native American should be the president of America. This is their country. Yeah, buddy, that's never happening. I'm gonna just be honest with you. That would never happen, probably.
He's MAGA all the way. It's make Argentina great again. I heard about him when he was campaigning, and even before his campaign. He's a great economist, and he was saying a lot of very correct things, and he was very much in a conservative mode. And I heard all about you as you were running, and even before you
He's
were running.
an orange turd.
Tremendously talented economist. You were getting a lot of good write-ups, and I
He's
appreciated
racist
that, but
towards Native Americans.
He was make
I'm racist
Argentina
from
great
speaking
again. It
the
worked.
truth.
I actually sent him some hats for his early part of the campaign, and then he called me. He wanted a lot more, and I said, "When does it stop? When will it stop?" And it stopped with him winning, and he's become very popular, and he's on the verge of a breakthrough. I think he's really on the verge of tremendous economic success, and I know that Scott Bessent is helping.
Why?
And our great Scott is doing a
Because,
job, and he feels very
bro,
strongly
America
about it.
has a
And,
certain
Scott,
image
you
they
wanna
want to
say just a couple
uphold.
of
Why you
words
think
about
Norman
that?
never won president yet?
Yes, sir. The president is fighting 100 years of bad economic history and policy, and is
Both presidents.
Both.
We're fighting bad. I thought he was talking about the U.S. president when he said.
And there's a midterm election coming up. We think he's going to do quite well, and then continue.
Yeah, the image of America is now overweight and blue-haired.
As you said, President Obama had a big opportunity during his term, which he wasted. Many governments in Latin America went center-right, and the U.S. ignored them. We are not going to ignore our allies. It is economic
By rights,
strength.
no one but a
We're using
Native
our
American
economic
should be the
strength
president
to
of
create
America.
peace, just as you've done all over the world. And it is much better to form an economic bridge
Because
with
the
our
women who
allies
ran for president
who
were
wanna
both
do the right
unlikable.
thing than
All right, buddy.
have to have,
Keep telling yourself that.
shoot at narco gunboats. So we think that this is an
Telling you,
opportunity
Chet.
for the Argentinian people. And
Just think about it,
President
Chet.
Milei is the
In
one
other
to do it.
countries,
He's got a great
women
cabinet.
don't
He's got
even
a
work
great
jobs.
team
They
who
just
we
cater
worked
to
with
their
over the
husband.
past
So if
week.
America had a woman as a president,
And the election is coming up.
How would
very
that look to
soon,
other
and
countries, bro?
It's a very big election being watched by the world.
I gotta really think about it,
because he's
bro.
done an incredible job, but with that comes some
America
pain.
loves its
And,
image.
they have some pain, and now they're coming out of it. I think the victory is very important. Your poll numbers I hear are pretty good, but I think they'll be better after this. And you know, our approvals are somewhat subject to who wins the election, because if a socialist, or in the case of New York City, a communist wins, you feel a lot differently about making
Honestly, I say the
investment.
hell
think,
out of
Scott,
countries
you
right
feel
now.
that,
We need to worry about ours.
If somebody that had no chance, in other words, if
Yeah,
somebody wins
we
and has
do,
no
but
chance
shit,
of ever
America
having
got a problem with
great
doing that.
economy because
They
of that
like
philosophy,
everybody else.
you would put a halt to what we're doing.
Yes, sir. And we're
I
confident
always say
President
I'd be
Milei is
100%
gonna
for
do
giving
well.
the native the
We've been
land back if they
criticized
can
by a
promise to
couple
give it back to the
American
tribe they
colonists
took
like
it from.
Senator Warren.
What do you mean by that?
So, and she.
What do you mean by
she-
giving
That's
the
a
natives their land back?
She has no idea what she's doing. She's a nasty,
Like, how would that
horrible
work?
senator. Go ahead. Other than that, I like her very much.
Yes, and she and her protege in New York, Mandame, who I don't even think he's a Peronist. I think he's more of the communist chauvinismo. So we stand with the president and what he stands for and the hope for the Argentinian people. And President Trump, just like you, he carries the young
Different natives
people.
were
it's hope
conquering
in the
each other
future.
long before
the
Pilgrims
Argentines have
landed.
made the decision to shake off 100 years of bad policy. They went
Natives
from
fought
one of the
for
richest
land
countries in the
against
world
neighboring tribes for
to
thousands of
a
years
ton of
before the
debt.
Europeans
And I
arrived.
think that with the
So it's
bridge
hard
the
to see
US
whose
is
land it
giving
really
them
is.
And the strong policies.
So
that
basically,
Argentina
you saying
can
you
be great
would never
again.
give them the land back because they don't even know who
Thank you very
rightfully
much.
owned the
Please,
land,
go
right?
ahead, please.
That was the point you was making.
Muchísimas gracias por esta recepción. Me siento muy honrado, muy especialmente en este momento en el que, digamos, gracias al gran liderazgo suyo, presidente Trump, ha logrado la paz en Medio Oriente. No solo este gran logro que ha sido alcanzar la paz en Medio Oriente, sino lograr el retorno de los 20 rehenes vivos. Además, quiero también felicitar por esa labor y por entender, digamos, la amenaza que es el socialismo del siglo XXI en todo el mundo, y en especial en América Latina, la labor de
Damn, can we get some
Marco Rubio.
subtitles or
Y
something?
también quiero agradecer profundamente el enorme trabajo que ha hecho el secretario Bessent.
Basically, we would give it
para
back, but who's to say they wouldn't
superar
have
este
packages of
problema
ownership
de
after that? It would just be an iron
venía
inside of them.
Argentina
So you
como
took that from us.
consecuencia, digamos, de los ataques políticos que hemos sufrido por nuestros opositores que no quieren que Argentina vuelva a abrazar las ideas de libertad y que quieran volver a abrazar ideas perimidas, fracasadas, que en el fondo no son ni más ni menos que caminos que conducen al socialismo. Así es que, en primer lugar, muchas gracias por recibirme Muchas gracias por lo que están haciendo por el mundo libre y muchas gracias al secretario Bessent por la enorme tarea que ha llevado a cabo y que, digamos,
Let's
nos
resolve to
permite tener
just
una ruta para
let's
poder
resolve to just live
transitar
together and respect our
tranquilos
people.
y hacer lo que los argentinos de bien necesitan, y que creo que va a ser un buen caso para mostrar al mundo que las ideas de la libertad funcionan y generan prosperidad. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Do we have a interpreter that wants to? You all either have that. Has everyone understood? Because I think you made a very important, profound statement, actually.
Chat, what did he just say?
We could have it interpreted if you want. Does anybody want it interpreted?
Trump don't know what he just said, Chad.
Would you like it? Can
You
the
don't know what he
interpreter
just
speak
said.
like
He's
that?
capping.
Do we have somebody set up for that? If you want.
It's actually simultaneous, so if the president would like to repeat his statement, we can do it.
No, that's okay. Don't worry about it. We'll leave it that way. So it's an honor to have you here, and I just want to tell you that your career
has AI translating.
It's going to continue with the election. You're going to win the
Oh,
election.
okay.
We're going to endorse
Because I'm
you.
about
We're
to
gonna
say, ain't
endorse
no
you
way
today.
he know what the hell
Fully
he just
endorse you,
said.
and you know, people in Argentina like me. A lot of
Trump's
people like
giving
me.
Argentina 20
I'm
billion.
even
Look it up.
surprised myself.
If that ain't
But we
giving
had a great,
illegals money, they blame
We had
Democrats.
a great weekend. We had a great period of time in the Middle East. It was very comprehensive. It went very rapidly, and I think it's going to lead to something that's going to be
They're talking about the peace deal in the Middle East, what he's doing in
unrecognizable, certainly for the
Argentina.
Middle East. What's taken place in the last few days, people can't believe it. I've never
Yo, what
seen
did I
anything
title
like
this
it.
stream?
I've never seen the love and the spirit.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I've done a lot of things. I've done a lot of deals. I've done a lot of political deals where countries come into line or whatever. But I've never seen anything like this, the level of love. And it has to do with the mystique of the Middle East.
Chat,
I
be
think.
honest, if I did a
other
24-hour
countries,
stream, would y'all stay in the whole
I did
time?
7 other settlements of wars. Complete
I want to do a
settlements of wars, and it
24-hour
was
stream one
very
day.
well
But I don't know what I would do for
but
the
this
24
is
hours.
something I've never seen anything like it. The media covered it very fairly, and even the fake news,
Hell no.
which we have a lot, they actually covered it fairly for a change.
Bro, chat,
And,
my streams
I
be
appreciate
interesting, bro.
that.
Y'all can
We
do
have to get back
24.
to that. It's so important.
I just
But I
subbed.
just want to say it's a pleasure.
Bro said, hell
to
no,
be
I
with
just
you, and
subbed.
we're going to have lunch, and we'll take a
Appreciate you,
couple
though,
of questions from
Dan.
the news, and I'm sure they'll be extremely non-hostile and friendly. Like JD went through a very friendly interview.
But
with
chat, I want to
George
start doing
Sloan.
IRL streams, but I feel like
He's
y'all
nice
wouldn't
enough to
watch
pay me
that because a lot of
$16
y'all be
million
old as
the
shit
last
in
time
here.
we
I
came
be
in
looking at my
$16
analytics and shit. A lot of y'all be like 60
which was
years
good. It
old.
was worth it. It was worth having somebody.
Like y'all probably don't even be understanding what I
If you
be
get
saying some of the
$16
time.
million, that's good. But JD had a very nasty person interviewing him. And we
Like,
can't
Chad,
let
how
that
old are y'all?
happen.
Be honest.
Just as inappropriate.
And if you
cut
older
off a highly
than
respected
50, oh
vice
no, if you older
president
than
of the
45,
United
just be
States,
like 45 plus.
mid-sentence. Yeah, I guess it's
64.
one way to win an argument. That was the only way he was going to win the
damn.
argument. So it was pretty inappropriate. I want to tell you that.
Just do your thing.
So thank you very much. Do you have something?
That's
there?
real right there.
Oh, good. Thank you.
But Chad, how old are y'all though?
Yeah.
Darle.
I'll get it.
You're not 92, buddy. Man, the chat get quiet when I ask for the age.
That's
That is
fantastic.
crazy. See, that's what I'm saying. That's how I know y'all old as shit.
When he did this letter, Mr. President, your settlement in the Middle East wasn't done.
Ah,
So we have to do a new letter
let's do that.
to
And
include a gap because this is a very important.
I am
you have to add one
35.
extra
I'm 30.
sentence per paragraph.
Exactly.
That's good. Thank you. Very
Too
much.
old
This
for
is a
Trump
great-
and his gay MAGA
such a
scum
great
supporters.
Thank you very much.
Bro, chat, y'all always bring it back to politics, bro.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
25? Okay, we got some young people in here today.
Mr. President,
Okay.
Why don't we talk about Argentina first? And then
I'm 31.
Go ahead. How is
All right,
Argentina?
bet. Okay. Y'all not too old then, chat. Y'all might know what I'm saying then.
Go ahead.
how is this Argentina rescue package America first? And is this rescue package meant to help President Milei's party in the coming election?
No, it's helped. It's really meant to help a good financial
Nothing wrong with
philosophy where
with a
Argentina
diverse
can, after 20
demographic
years
means you're
of
doing something right.
disaster.
See,
'Cause it
man,
was
Julian,
very
that's a good
successful
way to look at it,
one
right?
point, and it can be again.
I
like
appeal to
Venezuela.
all
Venezuela
audiences.
was
That
very,
is
very
fire.
successful, and now it's
22,000 days is 64, give or take.
when we can help our neighbors. You know, we're making tremendous progress in.
I never thought about it like that.
South America. Marco was telling me by he's like our great expert here. He really knows it. But you were telling me that so many of the countries are coming our way, and we had a few years ago when I just
I've been
came
studying
back,
geopolitics since I was 10.
so I've been here
and
now
the fortunate side effect of a
almost
high
9
reading
months, but
level,
when
and
I
I'm
just
60.
came in, I was amazed to see
Geopolitics
how
since you
poorly
were
we've done. We
10?
lost
God, you
so
must have
many,
been a
and
kid genius.
One of them was Argentina.
At 10
Would be
years
lost
old,
if he wasn't there. And I think he will be
I ain't
there,
gonna
'cause
lie,
the
at 10
people
years old, all
recognize
I
he's
cared
done an
about was playing the
amazing
game and
job.
playing
He took
football.
over a real mess. So did I take over a mess. I took over a mess by,
I know every word he's saying.
And Obama he started it, I'll tell you. Barack Hussein Obama started it. Could you give a couple of words on South America? You were telling me so well yesterday how
Did he
well
say
we're doing.
Barack
Good.
First of all,
Hussein
we have now
Obama?
8 or 9, 10 countries, Argentina being foremost among them, that have aligned with the United States on issue after issue in international community events all over the world. They're, in fact, these great allies like Argentina, but I can go into others, Costa Rica.
At 10 I was
don't
making
wanna leave
fart
anybody out,
jokes.
El Salvador, but
Yeah, I ain't
I
gonna
think
lie.
one of the more promising
Reading
developments is,
studying
later this month, there'll
geopolitics
be an
at
election in
10?
Bolivia after
God
25, 30
damn.
years of anti-American hostile government. Both of the candidates running in that election, in the runoff election, want
Use your
strong
platform to
and
bring
better
people
relations
that
with the
we
United
need that,
States and another
especially now.
transformative
Yeah,
opportunity
see,
there. But,
that's what I be trying to do. That's
so
why I
think
don't
this
be
is important. This is
picking
our-
sides. But
our
chat be trying to make me
hemisphere.
choose
It's where we
sides.
live, and having strong neighbors such as this.
And great progress has been
Middle
made.
name is Hussein.
And we'll make more.
That's
Over
his
the
real
last
name?
9 months.
I never
really
knew
over
that.
the last 9 months. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, from Argentina, Buenos Aires, do you imagine soon a free trade agreement with Argentina? Could it be possible soon?
Yeah, it will be. Well, we're going to discuss some of it today, but no, we want to help Argentina, and we want to always help ourselves, but we want to help Argentina, and one of the ways we can do, they have great products.
Please don't
and we
pick a
used to do
side.
a lot of trade, and then
His
you look
dad
at
is
what
from
the
Kenya.
Democrats- Well, they didn't know. They didn't know. Honestly,
You were
they
just
didn't know
talking
what
shit
they were
on
doing.
Trump. But see,
a
I
lot of
talk
that
shit
trade
about
was
everybody,
great,
though.
and they have great products, so we will.
I don't
be
just
trading
choose a
with
side.
Argentina.
I
It'll be
like-
helpful to them, and it's helpful.
I'll
it's good
talk
for
shit
us
about
also.
both sides, really.
Is China trying to draw a wedge between the U.S.
And I really be rage beating some of y'all because like y'all be taking this
I
shit
would
so
say-
serious.
And China on
China likes to draw wedges. Yeah, sure. I mean, I guess that's natural. It's China.
Many don't see
And
99.
it's natural, but
My
it's
grandma,
not
my
gonna-
great grandma was
it's not going to mean anything. in the end.
94, I think. She was 94, I think. She died last week.
And the China swap and
She was
close the
crazy.
space base in Neuquén.
What's
I
good,
don't think,
Benicio?
You should be doing business much.
Benicio,
You can do some trade,
Benicio.
but you certainly shouldn't be doing beyond that. Certainly
Judge a
shouldn't
man
be
by
doing
his character,
anything
not the
having to do
color
with the
of his skin.
military with
Facts.
China. And if
That's how
what's
I go
happening,
about
I'd
it,
be
bro.
very,
But
upset
sadly,
about that.
everybody not like
What
that.
about
You
the
understand
swap?
that, Scott, right?
Mr. President,
You do understand.
Mr. President, what about the swap?
Touche everyone aside. Some just are smart enough to follow values, morals, and common sense.
The American assistance is not predicated on
We
the
absolutely
swap with
need you
China
to
being
not pick a
closed.
side because you
Your
are the
point to
unbiased
that
and fair
effect
party
is
here.
incorrect.
But you said, but you said that Argentina has to expel China from your business or from your agenda, and the swap is so important for Argentina.
Sorry
No,
about your
I
loss.
was referring
I
more
appreciate it.
to ports,
Sorry about your family
military
loss. I'm sure your
bases,
grandmother will be missed.
observation,
You said your grandma passed at 94? Yeah, I think she was 94.
Than the swap, more than the swap.
She was 90
more
something.
than the swap.
Okay, thank you.
He was referring to that. Yeah, behind
But yeah, I appreciate y'all, chat.
President for Argentina, what's the benefit for United States in helping this?
The hate injuries, the hate are more than the
a great
hated.
philosophy take over a great country. Argentina is one of the most
Trump is a
beautiful countries that I've
grandfather.
ever
His
seen.
grandkids are younger
And,
than us. You think
we
he
wanna see
want
it
to leave
succeed.
them or destroy
I mean,
America?
we don't
No,
have
the
to do
internet
it.
is destroying
It's not going to make
America.
a big difference for our country, but it will.
Yeah,
in
the
terms
internet,
of
I ain't gonna
South
lie, the
America.
internet do
If
be
Argentina
destroying
does
shit.
well, you're going to have others following, and a lot of others
People
are
will see
following.
a post on
We have
Twitter or
countries in
TikTok
South
and
America
just
that
swear that it's
2
facts
years
and
ago
just run with
would have
that
never
shit.
even been thought of to go as democracies.
Good, take
or
care of
as
yourself. You may
just
end up
countries
blessed with
that
just
want to
a
do fair
of a
and
life.
balanced trading.
Yeah, child.
And now
I don't know though. I don't know if I would want to be that old. Like 90 something, you could barely even do shit for yourself.
And Brazil, as you know, I had a very good conversation
Oh,
with the
no.
president. I met him at the United Nations before I went up to speak, and then I found that he didn't have a speech because I had no teleprompter. They turned off my teleprompter purposely. They made it impossible.
What's good, Chris?
for me.
Can we argue that at the end of the day, we don't care what the label of the truth is or what side it's from. We just want the truth. Democrat or Republican, I don't care. I want the
Think of
truth.
that. You go into the United Nations, I'm speaking
Facts,
in front
man.
of 158 leaders and the whole world. And I look at my teleprompter and it's
Let me
dead.
tell you, being old sucks.
They killed my teleprompter.
Miguel, how old are
They
you?
wouldn't let the man that operated into
We need
the
to find
Can you
things that
believe
are common in each other and not suffer from this in the process.
Interested in economic terms for the
I
state?
do have. No, I want to see it succeed. I think it's
I mean,
going
it's
to
just
be
generally
great.
lying,
And we
but
will
if you
benefit
think
also.
of
But
just
it's not
spirit being
that big a
living on
benefit
earth, that
because
is
it's
true.
not that big a country, but
Getting
it's a very
old
important
sucks.
country.
60?
And it's a country that can be very successful.
Damn.
There are some countries that will never be successful.
God
This is a
damn,
country
Miguel.
that has great potential if it has the right leadership, and you have the right leadership with this man right here. Okay?
Mr. President, would you support dollarization?
I would say that I'll leave that up to my my economic people, but I like the dollar. I'm very strong on the dollar. And anybody who wants to deal in dollars, they have an advantage over people that aren't. But for the most part, we're keeping it that way. I think if Biden would have, Biden, that group would have gotten
I've had
elected,
people
meaning
tell me
Kamala,
Trump is a Nazi Republican.
you wouldn't
The
have the dollar
Nazis,
as,
they are not
as your
Hitler.
currency anymore. You wouldn't
I
have
promise you that.
a world domination by the dollar if I didn't win this election. And now the domination, like BRICS. I told anybody who wants to be in BRICS, that's fine, but we're going to put tariffs on your nation. Everybody dropped out. They're all dropping out of BRICS. BRICS was an attack on the dollar. And I said, you want to play that game, I'm going to put tariffs on all of your product coming into the U.S. They said, like I said, we're dropping out of BRICS. And BRICS is like, they don't even talk about it anymore. Scott, do you want to add to that, please?
We're very happy with the current currency arrangement.
Mr. President.
Your ABC fake news. I don't want. Go ahead, Brian. Please.
True,
I
funny,
don't take
bro.
questions from ABC fake news after what you did with Stephanopoulos to the Vice President of the United States. I
This
don't
man
take
Trump
questions
love
from
holding
ABC
grudges.
fake news. Brian, go ahead.
Yes, sir. First of all, congratulations on achieving peace. You're indeed the peacemaker.
Hard to believe, right? Did you ever think I was going to
Like, Chad, imagine you just got hired for the job, you happy, you an interviewer, and then Trump be like, you know what, F you, you work for ABC. Like, that's tough, bro.
Peacemaker?
Actually, I did.
I did too. Go ahead.
But on a lighter note, Elizabeth Farah, she is one of the hosts on ABC's show The View. She said a while back, I'll quote, if Trump gets Israeli hostages out, I promise I will wear a MAGA hat for one day on this show and say thank you for doing it. Your response.
Well, did she put the hat on?
Don't let no one tell you getting old is a blessing. Enjoy your youth. It comes and
Well, she
goes.
used to work for
Damn, Miguel.
So she used to work
being
here. I'll
old.
tell you about Alyssa. She worked here. She gave me the most beautiful
But yeah, I ain't gonna lie, being old do seem kind of.
The time came up. The
My
election
bad
was
for all the
rigged.
old people in here,
I
but it
left.
seems miserable,
She
bro.
gave me the most
A lot of
beautiful
old
letter
people
you've
just be
ever
waiting until the day
I
they
was a
die.
great president.
Like once you
What
get
a
to a
great
certain
job. Some
age,
of the
it's like
letters been
you
quoted.
just can't
This
do
is
shit.
Alyssa.
At that point, you're just waiting until you die.
Oh, I never thought it was very outstanding. I figured
What's
she
good,
would
Lisa?
not make it. And she didn't have a big role here either. And
I
then
wish
we
I could
had,
see Argentina. I knew a
January
beautiful
6th,
girl from there.
And she left after that or before that. But she gave me the most beautiful letters. And then even months after she left, and while we weren't here any longer, she sent another letter,
Yep,
glowing
facts.
letter, beautiful letter. And then she got
If you
hired by The
guys,
View.
if you guys want
And
to
they
know
gave her
what
a
that
couple
might
of
be
bucks,
like,
and
try
she
to
changed her
remember a
view very
memory
quickly.
from before you were
I
born.
never thought she'd make it. Never thought she had what it took. In any
Same
way,
man, do
know
you
what
have
that
a
means.
memory from before you were born?
But she's on The View.
Because if
But
you do,
it
please
just shows
enlighten
what a
me.
fraud The
Because I
View
dead
is,
ass
because
can't
this
remember
woman gave
nothing.
me letters and statements.
Time
She
moves
said I was
faster
the greatest
around
president
50.
in her lifetime. Now she's not that old, so I didn't consider it a
Damn, I be
great
feeling like
compliment,
time moving
but
fast right now.
I've had better.
Can we send her a hat?
Well, recently I've had the greatest president of them all. I like that much better. Because I said, does that
Old people
include
still have
Washington and
dreams for
Lincoln?
a,
Yes, sir, it does.
for
I
a
said,
better
I like
future
that
for the
person.
grandkids. Yeah.
So I think she's a total.
But
I
that's
think
another
she's a
problem
total-
with old people. Like, they be so stressed out worrying about their grandkids and shit. Well, my grandparents at least, they be so
Well, they're
like
gonna
stressed
disarm,
out.
and because they said they were going to disarm.
It's
and if they
like
don't
the
disarm,
smallest
we will disarm
things
them.
they be stressed out about.
I don't have to explain that to you.
But that's
if
because
they
a
don't
lot
disarm,
of
we
old
will
people don't be
disarm
on the
them.
internet.
They
They
know
just see
I'm
the
not playing
news.
games.
And the news will have you thinking
We
Mother
did something
effers just getting
monumental.
killed
We got
left
the
and right
hostages
every day.
back. That was the first thing we had to do.
I
Above
swear
all
I
else,
never seen nothing positive
get the
on the news.
hostages back. Now, they misrepresented because we were told they had 26, 24 of dead hostages.
Good morning to you
We
too,
can
Tim.
use those terms.
Tim
And
Hirsch.
it seems as though they don't have that because we're talking about a much lesser number. But that's a very tough subject. I want them back. That's what they said. I want them back. Also, they said they were going to disarm. And initially speaking, they needed, they did take out
Because they know
couple
small
of gangs
habits that
were
may
very
seem
bad.
insignificant
Very,
may
very
end up
bad
having
gangs,
huge
and they did
effects on the
take them
quality
out,
of life.
And they killed a number of gang members. And
Trump time pick,
that didn't bother
priceless.
me
Looks
much,
like
to be honest
Stormy
with
under
you.
the
That's
chin.
okay. It's a couple of very bad gangs. It's no different than other countries. Like Venezuela
Nah, I ain't
sent
gonna lie.
their gangs
It
into
do look
us,
like his
and we
shirt
took
is
care of those
choking the
gangs.
shit out of his neck.
Washington, D.C.
This
is one
look
of the
hella
safest
uncomfortable,
cities in the
Chad.
country. It was one of the worst cities in the country.
I'm
If you go
64
back
and worried for my
just a little
grandson
while
also.
ago, right? Now it's safe. You can walk to work. Isn't it nice?
What y'all worried about,
But,
like
we have,
specifically?
told them we want to disarm, and they will disarm. And if they don't
Pray for
disarm,
you
we
and your
will disarm
family, and I
them.
hope great
And it'll
happiness
happen
comes your way,
quickly
and that this prayer
perhaps
for you
violently.
brings you some relief.
But they will disarm. Do you understand me?
Yes. You say
Because you
quickly.
always, everyone says, oh, well, they won't disarm.
Don't write
They will
old folks
disarm.
off. LOL,
And I
respect
spoke
them. They
to
have lived life.
Hamas.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I was raised
And
to
I said,
respect
"You're
my
gonna
elders. I
disarm,
definitely
right?" Yes,
respect
we're
old
gonna
people.
disarm. That's what they told me. They will disarm, or we will disarm them. Got it?
Wars,
Okay.
chaos, disorder.
You say quickly, sir, you say quickly, but what is the deadline you're going to put on
A
that?
reasonable
before you take
period of
action?
time, pretty quickly.
Mr.
A
President.
reasonable period of time.
Congratulations on the peace you achieved in the Middle East, first
Thank
of
you
all.
very much.
And the
The
question
shirt is
regarding
probably
Argentina.
silk or something
Does-
extremely comfortable
from
and
Argentina?
expertly tailored, most likely. Oh yeah, for sure.
I like them much better.
You know that
ABC.
Trump hella rich. Ain't the president.
Than ABC fake news.
Me too, sir.
Yes, go
They
ahead.
probably feel like that boy in a
U.S.
cloud
support
right
for
now.
Argentina depend on the results of the upcoming legislative elections and the ability of the government to pass long-lasting reforms through Congress.
Well, I think if they don't do that, we're not going to be around very long. Scott, can you handle that one, please?
We're confident that the president's party will and
Trump keep passing
the
it to Scott.
coalition will do well in
Who
the
is Scott?
election, and
Trump's your
this
baby
aid
daddy.
is predicated on robust policies, and going back to the failed Peronis
Roberto, you
policy,
need help, buddy.
would cause a U.S. rethink.
Thank you very much.
It's a little bit. It's a great question. It's a little like New York. You're reading.
Always
in
have
Argentina
respect for
about
any and all
we
elders.
have a problem. We have a communist
Facts.
who's 33 years
Facts.
old, doesn't know a damn thing. Practically, he's never worked.
Wait, Miguel, I
a
just
day in
realized
his
you.
life.
Wait, you make
And he
something
sort
not
of
true.
caught on, right? And I'm not.
I
gonna
just
send a
realized,
lot of
Miguel,
money
you
to New
said
York.
facts earlier.
I don't have to. The money comes.
Who
all
taught you
through
that
the White
slang?
House, and
You must hang around your
if
grandkids
they're
a
gonna be
lot.
sending us stupid policies.
I never once heard any of my
communist
grandparents say
policies, which is
facts.
proven for thousands of years doesn't work. We don't have to prove it again. We're not going to ruin one of our great cities because we'll make that great. We will clean up the crime in about 30 days.
All
Took 12
stuttering and
days to do
talking
Washington,
BS.
D.C.
Scott
so New York
can't
is
talk.
bigger. And Chicago, we've already made a lot of progress despite fighting from the government. But
Trump term
Chicago's
ends in
doing great.
1,130
Memphis is doing really
days.
Great. We have great support there
Nah,
from the
man,
political
Trump doing that
leaders.
bad.
They
You
say, "Please come
counting
in
the
and
days
clean up crime."
into his term here?
And we love it. We've in 1 week, Memphis
Is it
so
fact-
good. It's so
facts,
much better. We'll have
facts,
it
or
within a month.
facts?
We'll have that.
Dan
into a safe
Van, how
city
old you say
again.
you was again?
And all
Like
of these
30, I
things,
think?
We want to clean them up. We don't
It's
like
facts.
that opposition, but
Like
if somebody's
something
gonna
that
be
is truthful.
A communist mayor of New York, it's a fluke when he
F-A-C-T-S.
gets in. There are a lot of failed people.
I
that
feel
he's
bad
running
for
against.
you young
They're
people that
failed.
don't know
You have,
about the War I
inferior
and II
candidates
history.
or something, because it's impossible to think
Wait a
that New
minute.
York City.
Why you
can have
say
a
it for
communist
you
mayor.
young
He's a
people?
communist.
Like, I
He's
don't
not a
know about
socialist,
that.
By the way, there's a big difference. He's a communist. He's down and dirty. He's a communist. He hates police. He wants to get
How
rid of
much do
all
you think they
police.
spend on orange
How
makeup?
can a policeman? He hates Jewish people, and yet he's got Jewish people.
I don't have any
supporting. He
kids
hates
or
Jewish
grandkids.
people.
How old are you,
So,
Steve?
It comes through the White House. The funding for New
I ain't
York
gonna lie,
and
I
for
gotta have
every
children, bro.
place
I can
comes through
continue
the
my
White House.
legacy.
And I'm very generous, and I was always very generous with New
I
York.
can't,
Even when you had opposition there, but I was always very
I
generous.
can't go my life without a
But I
kid,
wouldn't
bro.
be generous to a
I don't know how
communist,
people do
a guy
that one.
that's going to take the money and throw it out the window, because you're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars And we're not going to let
I know
somebody
all about
get into
World War I and
office
II. I watched countless
squander
documentaries and done research
the
on free
taxpayer
time.
money from this country. We're not going to let it happen. So it's a little bit like that with, if you take a look, Argentina.
Yeah, Elric, I don't know why he
If
came for
the
us like
president
that. Like,
doesn't
we just
win,
don't know.
I know the person that he'd be running against, I believe, probably. We probably have the person. The person is extremely far left and a philosophy that got Argentina into this problem in the first place. So we would not be generous with Argentina if that happened. If he loses, we are not going to be generous with Argentina.
Mr. President, you talk about Argentina and important in the Latin America. What is your plan for Venezuela? But is the terrorism, the narco-terrorism in the President Maduro? What is your plan?
Well, Venezuela has done a couple of things very badly. Number one, we get drugs and all of that. But we get something in a way worse because they're a big purveyor of drugs, but we have worse. What they do very well is they send their criminals into the United States, and they send Tren de Aragua, that you know very well. You're from Venezuela.
Somebody said Trump sent Argentina $20 billion earlier.
These are
Is
the
that
worst
facts?
of all. And they emptied their prisons into the United States. They empty their mental institutions into the United States. And because we had a president who's low IQ, he didn't realize what was going on. And the people that are high IQ that surround him, but they happen to be lunatics, radical left, they're highly intelligent, radical left lunatics, okay? So in a way, that's worse than having a guy like Biden. But they ran the show. You heard about the Autopen. The person that really operated the Autopen, but it was really the people that told the person that operated the Autopen what to do. Those are the people that really were president, okay? So we're not going to stand for it in this country. And by the way, that Autopen thing is under serious investigation. Just this, I don't think you care, because you're from Argentina, you couldn't care less about that, but I just want to say, because I do the weave, you know, the weave, cover a lot of different subjects. But the people that are involved in that Autopen scam, because he barely signed anything. I mean, this guy, I don't know how you can be president. He barely signed it. But the only thing we can find for sure is that he signed Hunter's Biden.
61, and I spent tens of thousands
I like that. That's a combination.
of dollars on a woman for IVF, and we had 2 miscarriages, no kids.
We think he's going to win. He should win. And if he does,
sorry for your losses, Steve.
And if he doesn't win, we're not going to waste our time, because you have somebody whose philosophy has no chance.
Russia
of making
is one of the
Argentina
best countries
great
in the
again.
world. I literally never, ever heard anybody say that.
Was that a direct conversation?
Russia?
Through my people.
Mr. Witkoff or?
Through my people.
Okay,
at the highest level.
What's your advice?
And it was meant for me.
What's your advice for President Milei and Argentina as a political leader?
My advice is to hold strong to his principles, because he's right, and he's proving that he was right. He's got one problem. He's got people that are giving him tremendously bad press, even though they know it's wrong. He's got to hold true to his principles, because he's going to win. He's going to win. He's doing the right thing. Everybody knows he's doing
He can't let go of his
You have a
grudge against
radical
Biden
left
because he
sick
beat him.
culture. That's a very dangerous group of people, and they're trying to
Trump is
make him
neck
look
deep
bad.
in Epstein
I
files.
believe
People
he's going to win out.
from across the world, presidents rich and powerful.
China?
PDF files on the list.
Well, you have to be careful with China. Look, everybody deals with China. They have to deal with us too. We have to be careful with China. Look, I have a great relationship with President Xi, but sometimes it gets testy because China likes to take advantage of people, and they can't take advantage of us. But we have a fair relationship with China, and I think it'll be fine. And if it's not, that's okay too. You have to do and go where the punches are thrown. You got to put up the blocks. We have a lot of punches being thrown, and we've been very successful. Look, we have the most success. I think we're the most successful we've ever been as a country. We have now I've been saying 17. We have, I think, close to or maybe even exceeding $18 trillion going to be invested
Americans
in the
are
United States.
obese.
That's more
Russians
money
are
than
disciplined
ever invested
beasts.
in any country before. Even countries with much bigger populations like India or like China. Nobody's ever had $18 trillion invested in the country. We have, and that's because of November 5th election, because I won. Oh, if she won, you'd be negative. You'd have people getting out of the country. This country would have been in a major depression. If she won, we would have been 1929. They'd like to see that anyway. That's why they keep the government closed. They have a shutdown based on nonsense. They want to give away 1.5. Think of it. They want to give away $1.5 trillion to people that come into the country illegally. And as you know, the borders now are closed. But when they hear that they get the greatest health care package in the world and they have no money, but they're living okay in another country, they head up and they start forming caravans and they try and come into our country. But the big problem is they want to give health care to people that should not get health care. They want to give health care to illegal immigrants by the millions. Look at Gavin Newsom, what he's done. He's ruined California. He gives health care to anybody. And I guess they do it for votes. I actually think it's bad politics, but I guess they do it for votes. So I'm with this man because his philosophy is correct. And he may win and he may not win, but I think he's going to win. And if he wins, we're staying with him. And if he doesn't win, we're gone.
How can Argentina help to the peace process, to the Middle East peace process?
They can help by doing well. If Argentina does well, that's helpful because they know we help Argentina. So if Argentina is successful, that's great because they view us as somebody that helped Argentina and they did well, and the United States maybe will help them and they're going to do well. So the success of Argentina would be a great feather in the cap of the USA because we're helping them. Right? You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, please, behind you. Behind you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Last week you said that NATO should consider expelling Spain.
What?
You said that NATO should consider expelling Spain. Would you support that?
What? Expelling Spain?
NATO consider expelling Spain.
Oh. I'm very unhappy with Spain. They're the only country that didn't raise up their number to 5%. Every other country in NATO raised up to 5%. And Spain is doing very well off our backs. So I'm not happy with Spain. Spain gets protection, and they know, look, they're sort of in the semi-middle of it, so they're going to get protected automatically. Even if you don't want to protect them, you're protecting them because of the way they're located. And I think what Spain did is a very bad thing for NATO. I think it's very unfair to NATO. It wouldn't matter if you said you're not going to protect them because they're pretty much protected. What are you going to do? Go through the other countries and let's go attack Spain, right? So I think what they did is not nice. I think it's very disrespectful to NATO. In fact, I was thinking about giving them trade punishment through tariffs because of what they did. And I may do that. I think unbelievably disrespectful. Spain, the only one out of all the countries in NATO, the only one that said that is Spain. And I think that's, I think they should be punished for that. Yes, I do.
Mr. President, on the government shutdown, you have the money to pay the troops on...
I do.
Okay. How...
I actually have a man who is a very wealthy person, you'll know that when I tell you this, who called a donor, a great gentleman, and he said, if there's any money necessary, shortfall, for the paying of the troops, that I will pay it, meaning he will pay it. How about that? I said, look, we're not going to need it. We're going to take care of our troops, but this was a position that's being forced upon us by Democrats, and all they have to do is just sign a piece of paper saying we're going to keep it going the way it is. There's nothing. It's not like it shouldn't even be an argument. They've signed it many times before. I don't want to bore you with the fact that Schumer said 100 times you should never close up government, but Schumer's a weakened politician. I mean, he's going to finish his career as a failed politician. He's a failed politician. He's allowed the radical left to take over the Democrat Party. So if they write books about that, if they write books about him, they're going to have to say that his career ended by allowing the radical left to take over the party. I mean, I won an election in a landslide because people are not into the radical left, and the Democrat Party is. People didn't want to see men playing in women's sports. They didn't want to see transgender for everybody. They didn't want to see all of the different things that they do that's so crazy. Open borders. I mean, the worst thing that he did to us, not inflation, because we fixed inflation. Prices are way down. I don't know if you saw that gasoline went to 58 just now. Did you see what's going on with gasoline? No, $58 a barrel. Nobody can believe it. I'm very proud of that. You know why? Because we're pumping like we've never pumped before. Because if you get the gas price down, everything else comes down. It's very simple. And he went away from my policies, and you had the greatest inflation. The last administration had the greatest inflation in the history of our country. And now, as you know, groceries are down. It's all down.
But on the
We're doing
shutdown, are
good.
you settling in for a long? Is this going to be a long term?
It's up to them. All they have to do is just vote to extend. We don't need it. We're not saying we want money. We don't. All we need is a right to extend. They want a right to extend, but they want $1.5 trillion so they can give it away to illegal immigrants, the people that are invading your cities. And many of these people, for whatever reason, I mean, I understood this. I called it a long time ago. These countries are run by people I know, friends of mine. Like, I know this gentleman. I hope you haven't sent. He probably did too. Why not? They send up their worst people. They send up people that are criminals. They send up people from jails. And at best, the best ones they send up are people that don't work very hard and that are on a social form of welfare. And they're sending those people into the United States. I don't blame them. I'm angry at them, but I don't blame them. But I'm really angry at Biden and Kamala and that group of lunatics for allowing it to happen, because it's the hardest thing. Now, you know, we're sending them out. It's incredible the job that Christie and Tom Homan and the whole group is doing. But we shouldn't have to be doing that. We're doing a lot of work on getting people out of here. Tren de Aragua has caused tremendous damage, and our soldiers are great. You know, our soldiers are now based on merit. They're not based on woke, because we won the case in the Supreme Court, which was the bravest case. I have such respect for the Supreme Court because of what they did with merit, because our country was built on merit. Countries are destroyed on woke. You know, I made a statement, and I hated to make it because it sounded bad, but everything turns to, you know what, when it goes woke. You remember the term. I don't like to use it because you might have some children listening, but it turns bad. And no, we have the hottest country right now anywhere in the world. That's why he's here. That's why every other country wants to meet here too. But we only have so many hours in the day and days in the week. But get the hottest country. Think of it. We were a dead country a year and a half ago. And now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. It's pretty good. Did a good job. Okay, any other questions?
Dry ass nuts. Man, check out funny.
For that?
What does that mean?
Do you like to visit Argentina?
I do. I would love to. I'm just a little busy. I would love to. I'd love to go to Argentina. I'd like to be like Biden. I'd like to go to the beach. You know, my legs are not quite as thin as his. My legs are slightly heavier. My arms are slightly larger. My body is a little bit larger than his. I'm not sure it would be appreciated on the beach, but I'm not going to take a chance. You won't see me in a bathing suit. You won't see in a bathing suit sitting on a beach in Argentina, falling down and not being able to lift a 3-ounce chair, meant for old people to lift, and he couldn't lift it, so he had a problem. He spent too much time on a beach. Somebody told him that he looked good in a bathing suit. And you'd see this guy on the beach all the time. I never quite understood it. Steve, go ahead.
Could you preview your meeting with Ukraine President Zelensky on Friday? You expect to talk about weapons?
Yeah, no, we have an interesting meeting going on. Look, I'm very disappointed because Vladimir and I had a very good relationship, probably still do. I don't know why he continues with this war. This war has been so bad for him. He's going into 4 years of a war that he should have won that war in 1 week. He's now going to soon be into his 4th year. He's lost 1.5 million soldiers, probably, close. Certainly in terms of wounded and no legs and no arms and all of the things that happen in horrible wars. It's a horrible war. It's the biggest thing that's happened since World War II in terms of death. It's bigger than any of them. I settled 8 of them. The biggest is that in terms of death. Incredible. I think India, Pakistan had great potential too. We did a great job in that one, but he's got to really settle this war. And you know they have long lines waiting for gasoline in Russia right now, right? They have long lines. Who thought that was going to happen? And all of a sudden his economy is going to collapse. And I'd like to see him do well. I mean, I had a very good relationship with Vladimir Putin, but he just doesn't want to end that war. And I think it's making him look very bad.
Trump said he stopped the war on day 1. We are 365
and I have to
days.
tell you, I give credit because
Well, yeah, he
who
did
would
say
think
that, huh?
Ukraine could have fought Russia for 4 years to essentially a standstill. Now, there has been some early, before they knew what the hell was happening, because it happened quick. Biden should have never let that happen. That's a war that should have never happened, but it did. But it's not making Russia look good, I will tell you that.
We need tomahawks in Ukraine.
We'll be talking about Ukraine, yeah. I mean, I have the president coming in on Friday, and I know what he has to say. He wants weapons. He would like to have tomahawks. Everyone else wants tomahawks. And we have a lot of tomahawks. Tomahawk is do you need any tomahawks in Argentina?
You can cross Moscow with tomahawks.
You need them for your opposition, I guess, because see, in this country, they'd use tomahawks for the opposition. I don't do that. I'm much nicer. The Democrats would use them if they had the chance. They're sick people. Go ahead.
President, are you worried that this plan with Argentina can fail?
Anything can fail. Anything can fail. You never know. That's why I say Putin should do something about the war, because so far, I mean, it's turned out to be very bad for him. But anything can. So this plan can fail. Sure, it can fail, but it's got a better chance. I would say, Scott, it's got a better chance of success than failure. And if it's successful, it's an unbelievable success. It can transform your country into greatness. It's got a great chance. We'd like to give it a chance. Anything can fail, but we'd like to give it a chance. And we think, because he's made so much progress. I mean, the work that he's done over the last 4 years is incredible. And it would be a shame to lose that progress. He's very close to having a big success.
Mr. President, will you consider removing restrictions on the press that report at the Pentagon? And have you spoken to Secretary Hexet about this?
I have, yeah. Well, he's finding, I think I can speak for him. I'll let him speak for himself, but I think he finds the press to be very disruptive in terms of world peace and maybe security for our nation. Press is very dishonest. Not you, but the press is very dishonest. You have something to say, Peter?
Well, I very much appreciate the question, because it was interesting to watch. We had a chance to go along on the historic trip of Middle East peace, which our generation of veterans never dreamed would be possible. So you would.
The Honorable Pete Hegseth, Secretary of War. Who put this card right here? Why did they have to add the Honorable? I know he told them to put that.
Think that the Pentagon press corps, all press corps, would be front and center across the board on wanting to give credit to the president for forging this kind of peace, and instead what they want to talk about is a policy about them, which simply says maybe the policy should look like the White House or other military installations where you have to wear a badge
Like your
that
attitude,
identifies
bro.
that
Don't
you're
let
press,
politics
or you
make
can't
you
just
bitter
roam
because they
anywhere you
can.
want. It used
I'm
to be,
out.
Mr. President, the press could
Be
go
cool,
anywhere,
bro.
pretty much anywhere in the Pentagon.
I appreciate you, Miguel.
The most classified area in the world. Or also that if they sign on to the credentialing, they're not going to try to get soldiers to break the law by giving them classified
They
information.
put their
So it's
own
common
titles?
sense,
Yeah, I
Mr.
can
President.
tell.
We're trying to make sure national security is respected, and we're proud of the policy.
You know, we have an option here. As you know, the press years ago moved into the White House. It used to be across the street. We could move them. You're lucky I'm president, because we could move them very easily across the street. They used to be there. They would have more room. We have a beautiful, nice space. You can sit all by yourselves and have fun. Instead, you walk around the White House talking to anybody that can breathe. And, you know, but I find that when it comes to war, and now
give myself
great
up
Department
to
of War, we have some great people over there. I think it's it bothers me to have soldiers and even, high-ranking generals walking
Ukraine
around
is the
with
best country in the
you
world.
guys on their sleeve,
Democracy will
asking
win.
them, because they can make a mistake, and a mistake can be tragic. They can do it innocently too. They can, And they're not press people. They don't really deal with the press, so they're not really necessarily good at it. Although I think it's mostly instinctual one way or the other. You're either good at things or you're not. But I could see you being bothered by that. And so you have them in an area and you treat them fairly, but they're not allowed to go into
much like the
somebody's office and sit with them for 10 hours. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can understand.
Mr. President, Boston had some street takeovers that we saw. Is the mayor going to work with or try and work with the mayor of Boston? And then they have a World Cup. They have several World Cup games. I know Argentina has got World Cups. They have several World Cup games. Could those games move to cities that do work?
It could. We could take them away.
They're going to change it to Secretary of World
I know the games are sold out, but your mayor is not good. They're worse than her. At least she's intelligent. You know, some are extremely low IQ. Those bother me more. She's intelligent, but she's radical left. And they're taking over parts of Boston. That's a pretty big statement, right?
Secretary
We could get them back in about 2
nuclear war.
seconds. All she has to do is call us. We'll go in and take them back. But she's afraid to because she thinks it's bad politically. She could take them back, too. The Boston police are great. I mean, I know them. They love me. She'll never tell them to go after Trump because they love me and I love them. And I got a tremendous police vote and military vote, you know, and fireman vote, all of them. No, I think she is hurting Boston. The answer is yes. If somebody is doing a bad job,
Ukraine is the greatest gaze of the world.
I would call Johnny, the head of FIFA, who's phenomenal, and I would say, let's move it to another location. And he would do that. He wouldn't love to do it, but he'd do it. Very easily he'd do it. And this is the right time to do it. If I thought Boston was doing something that was going to cause safety conditions for the World Cup, I could say the same thing for the Olympics, because we have events that are in different locations for the Olympics. It's based in LA. If I thought LA was not going to be prepared properly, I would move it to another location if I had to. On that one, I'd probably have to get a different kind of a permission, but we would do that. Gavin Newsom, he's got to get his act together, because had we not gone in at the beginning of my term, had we not gone in with a very strong, powerful force, they would have lost LA. Now, you already lost 25,000 houses to fires. You got a big scar right in the middle of the city. And that should have never happened, because they should have had the water flowing in from the Pacific Northwest. All they had to do is open up the valves. He didn't want to do it. And he didn't want to do it. He says for environmental reasons. I don't believe that. But, for some reason, he didn't want to do it. Lost 25,000. You had no water in the fire pumps. You had no water in the sprinkler systems in the ceilings. There were no houses. Normally, the things would go in the. You might not have lost. You might not have lost 2 houses. So if he doesn't play ball, we're going to have to be very tough with him. He's done a bad job. Just to finish off on that, so when we went in, we did a phenomenal job. We went in with great force, and that was the end of it. We put it out. We extinguished that fire, which was agitation, and it was a very dangerous position to be in. And we went in and did a great job. But the chief, said we could have never done this without President Trump and without the federal government coming in. Okay, that was it. He said that. Now, 2 or 3 weeks later, he said, we could have done it. But he knows he couldn't. The city was going to be taken over if I didn't go in. And you have to remember that Los Angeles was going to be taken over. And we have it where the chief said it, I believe, numerous times. But that was as it was happening. That was a rough one. That was nasty. And if we saw a situation like that, we'd be forced to make a move. Boston better clean up their act. That's all I can say. Go ahead. One more question.
Mr. President, talking about
shutdowns?
Yeah, please.
Do you feel any urgency to end the shutdown in the next week, 2 weeks, or would you be fine if it stretches into November and then toward the holidays with folks not getting paid?
Well, shutdown, we've had many, many shutdowns. And this is a shutdown that shouldn't have happened. A group of people brilliantly decided to make it after the election. I said, thank you very much. In other words, give it to Trump instead of Biden. So it shouldn't happen. And likewise, debt ceiling shouldn't have. But the great big, beautiful bill solved the debt ceiling problem for
Is there a point where you would reach out to?
No. Here's what's happening in the shutdown, though.
Appreciate you for subscribing. I'm not even going to try to pronounce your name.
And you're a smart guy, so you'll understand. But a lot of people don't.
Should I try to pronounce that?
The Democrats are getting killed on the shutdown. because we're closing up programs that are Democrat programs that we were opposed to. So we're being able, and they're never going to come back in many cases. So we're being able to do things that we were unable to do before.
Yes.
So we're closing up programs that are Democrat
Bro,
programs
trying to get me canceled.
that we wanted to close up or that we never wanted to happen, and now we're closing them up. And we're not going to let them come back. The Democrats are getting killed. And we're going to have a list of them on Friday, closing up some of the most egregious socialist,
Hey, Chad, can we hit 50 likes? We need
semi-communist,
3
probably
more.
not full communist, we're saving that for New York, but semi-communist programs, and we're closing them up. We're not closing up Republican programs because we think they work. So the Democrats are getting killed, but they're not telling the people about that. I say it, nobody, well, I haven't said it probably as bluntly as I just said it, but so we are closing up Democrat programs that we think, that we disagree with, and they're never going to open again. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
All right, chat. Steve Hope, appreciate you. You've been in the stream for a minute too. But chat, I think I'm gonna call it quits though. Appreciate all y'all. I'm gonna be back tomorrow around 12 a.m. Central Time. So if you're on the West Coast, like 10 p.m. for y'all. If you're in another country, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. I don't know time zones like that. UK wishes they had President Trump. What make you say that? But yeah, chat, I appreciate everybody who subscribed, who liked, commented, and watched the stream. I appreciate all y'all. I'm going to catch y'all tomorrow. Do anybody have any closing remarks they want to make before I end stream? I'm Filipino to Philippines. Chat, do y'all have any closing remarks though? You know, I'm tired of shit. Peace out, Steve. Appreciate you. U.S. dollar lost 10% of its value. Bond market is down. Farmers have record bankruptcies. UK wishes we had a Trump right now. Just research it, buddy. Fact. Starmer is putting the Brits in danger. Trump, there are towns where people are eating cats. What? Malay, you can sell an arm to buy a horse. Same madness. People eating cats? They down bad like that? Where is that at? The UK? Trump in, Starmer out. Why does it remind me of the mustache dude back in the 40s? That girl AI. I was about to say something, but that's probably a picture. They're eating the dogs and the cats. Who? Who doing that, chat? Biden has imported terrorism. All very bad people. Starmer ruined the country in less than 6 months. He gotta go. That's tough. What if I do this? Shit. Nah, that was too zoomed in. I ain't gonna lie, that's way too zoomed in. I am not AI. I am so real. I'm scary. Oh, that's you in your profile picture? They're eating the beautiful swans in UK, no joke. Bro, they're not eating swans, bro. Nah, I feel like y'all lying to me, chat. The migrants are eating our pets, bro. Yes. No, that's not. Stop it. Wait, let me see. Let me look at your profile picture again. That is... Shit, I can't tell, though. AI be looking so real nowadays, but I don't know. I don't know if I believe. I'm in Mendoza, Argentina. Dang, you watching me from Argentina? That's crazy. Like, the internet really be having stuff broadcasting all over the world. I'm eating some mint chocolate. No joke, eating swine and fish straight out of lakes, catch and release. You lying, bro. Let me look that up. I'm gonna go on Twitter. Twitter have everything. But then again, I don't think I can show that. Wait, what country you said they doing that in? There are videos of it, promise. All right, we gonna see. Oh shit. My bad. What up, chat? All right. Now, what country? Watching from Bolivia. Where is that at? Wait, chat. What country y'all watching from? Everybody, drop y'all countries. Why would I lie? Come on. No lies. What? England, Australia. Dang, chat, y'all all over. That's fire, though. See? I'm bringing everybody together. That's fire. Bolivia is above Argentina. Indonesia. I know it's not a defense, but trust me, bro, I'm British, mate. Antarctica. Beyond the ice walls. Yeah, you're lying. Damn, no, chat, y'all all over. That's fire, though. Fire. That's fire. I'm still finna end stream, though, chat. Oh, let me look this up right quick. Eating swans. They're eating the swans. Whoa. Chad, they really doing this. Ah, that's crazy. They're eating the swans and make you take a race tomorrow. Follow me, I'll keep you safe. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not watching no videos because that will get my whole YouTube channel deleted. But that's crazy, chat. No hesitation either. Ugh. What y'all think swan tastes like, though? There's no way that shit tastes good. I have a friend that's Christian who has a ministry in Haiti. They are literally cooking and eating their enemies. They cannibals? Nah, Chad, they got some evil ass people in this world. I ain't gonna lie. Probably ducks. Rubio called Trump a con artist. That's 2 years ago. Yeah, so they eating swans. I can't believe that. That's crazy. But all right, chat. Don't buy a hot dog from a migrant lads. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I barely eat hot dogs as it is. But all right, chat. I'm gonna catch y'all tomorrow, though. For real. Appreciate y'all once again. W stream. I'm gonna see y'all soon. Trust.